Hello, listeners, and welcome to Inside the Third Space, the podcast where we explore the third space roles in higher education and hear from the people living there. We dive into their journeys, insights, and experiences that shape this evolving professional landscape. I'm Agnita Amarnath, an educational developer in the Faculty of Science at UNSW Sydney. Today, I'm joined by Neda, who works in the English language development at PVCE UNSW. So, without further ado, I'll hand over to Neda to tell a bit about herself and what she does at UNSW.
Thanks, Agneta. Thank you so much for inviting me to the podcast. So, as you mentioned, my name is Neda Chepinchikj. I'm a doctor of applied linguistics, and I've been working in this role that you've just mentioned, so the implementation manager for English language development, for 7 years now.
Oh, wow. That's a long time at UNSW.
It sure is.
So, can you tell us more about the journey that led you to this role, and also what do you do in your day-to-day basis?
Yeah, sure. Well, this role actually started a bit differently. So when I first applied for it, it was, I believe, called academic learning advisor role or language advisor, something like that, as far as I can recall. And it was part of a strategic project of UNSW for enhancing students' English language development. So that's how it started. So it was a small team of 3 people. There was another person in my role and a project officer. And we basically worked towards on the project of we had different initiatives on enhancing students' English language. So it was predominantly international students were in focus and students with English as an additional language. But henceforth, it's basically become as a operational sort of BAU kind of work. So now we have a small team, and what we do is pretty much the same. So we still look after the academic English language development of our students, but we also sort of look at the journey from the moment they enroll and support them throughout their study, and also prepare them for their profession, so professional English language in the workplace when they graduate, because language and communication is also one of the graduate attributes of our students upon graduation. So yes, so we kind of follow the students on their journeys from entry to exit.
That's very interesting, because that's a big responsibility for, like, if they started with a 3 people team, and then glad that it has grown into a big team, because I feel there's a lot of work that you guys do that helps students, international students, because I was an international student once. So I know how, like, the first whole semester, I was just looking at the academics lip movement and I was like, what are they talking? That was my whole semester. So I understand how much impact you guys do in international students' journey from the start to the end. That's very nice, Nada. Thank you. So jumping into the third space, when did you first hear the word third space, the term third space, and what does it mean to you?
Very recently, actually. I think it was about sometime last year, from memory, that I first came across it. I think it might have been a webinar or a workshop, something like that, where people were talking about third space. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And it took me a while to actually find out what the meaning of third space was. And then I thought, I think that's where I am. That's, and because when people ask you about your professional identity, and if you're not an academic and you're a professional staff member, but still you sort of do more than admin, so to speak. So you're using your knowledge and your expertise, and you have high qualifications, right? You don't know how to describe your professional identity. So when I heard this third space label, I thought, I think that kind of that's where I fit in. That would describe me as describe my professional identity.
Yeah, that's always a hard question in parties. When I go, they ask, "So you teach?" And I'm like, "I don't teach, but I help them in teaching." But it's hard to explain it, which fits. Like even last year is when I found out what the third space meant, and I was like, it was a light bulb moment where I was like, "Oh, that's where I belong," and then started talking to people who felt the same. That's how this podcast was created as well. So it's good to know there are more people who are just like us, who feel that we don't have a perfect identity that we can point out to, but we are just a mix of both.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
So how do you see your work that you do right now fitting into the third space? You have
Hmm.
explained it a bit, but
Yeah.
also adding in the challenges that you feel in the third space as well
Right.
would be good.
So, I mean, unlike educational developers and designers, and that's not what I do. My role is a bit different. So I bring in my expertise as somebody who's worked in the English as a second language space and linguistic space for a very long time. And I've been a teacher myself for a very long time. So I bring that expertise into this present role, which is more like managerial sort of role. Like I can sort of describe it that way. So coordinator role. So I basically work on strategy and design different initiatives, programs, resources, everything to do with language development. So I don't teach as much. I do workshops and things like that, but not that often, unfortunately, because I love teaching. So I'm primarily an educator, and I love every opportunity I have to be in the classroom. I love being in the classroom, but yeah, so that's not the primary focus of my work. And I do also dabble a little bit in research as much as I can. I mean, as I've mentioned before, I did my PhD a number of years ago, and I did publish some of my research as part of my PhD project. But I've also been really grateful and lucky to be able to work on a research project as part of this job that has to do with writing feedback for students. So that was one of the initiatives that we've been working on. And out of that initiative, we kind of developed this research project. And I was really happy and lucky to have an academic from social sciences, Dr. Joyce Wu. I would like to say hi to her if she's listening to this. Join me on this research project. So we've worked on this research project for the last couple of years, and right now we are excited to be seeing the product of that, the results. So we're going to publish an article, a paper from that research project, which I hope is going to be valuable for everyone who works in this area and who provides writing feedback support to students. So when I say writing feedback support, I mean mostly in terms of academic language writing. So what an essay should look like and how students should be writing essays and reports and all these different academic genres, and get some feedback on them as they work towards their final assessment submissions. So, so yeah, that's also been part of my job, although not the primary focus. So that's what I'm saying. I'm a professional staff member, but I do a little bit of research and a little bit of teaching, and I kind of use my expertise in the area to kind of do my job.
Yeah, to bring them together.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
another good example to hear that a person who feels they're a third spacer has been doing research for a while, and now it's been not now, it's been recognized by the academics and they are helping, and then it's like a teamwork that you all do it together. So it's a good example for a third space, and not just their roles stop in doing professional work, but also you step into research and you do all the publications, and that is recognized as well. It's good to know, and it's wonderful to hear. We are looking forward for the paper. Hopefully you'll share it
Thanks.
with
Well,
us.
fingers crossed.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as it becomes available. But it's a long journey because we've just handed it in, and like revisions and
Yeah.
everything else, and rejections on the way. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, but it's hopefully at some point in time it will come out, and people will be able to read that work. But I just wanted to follow up on what you've just said. A lot of my work, most of my work, is actually collaboration and a lot of liaising with faculties, with academics, because most of the things that we do, we offer to students, but we also do a lot of integration and embedding into different courses throughout the university. So a lot of my day-to-day work means talking to academics and working on those professional relationships and building trust with academics. And that is not always very easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a third spacer.
Especially when you have the professional as your title, your role, it's always hard as
Yes.
well to break through that barrier and go into and let the academics accept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, having the doctor in front of your name, I found kind of gives me credit, at least in front of other people, and they're kind of probably more prone to take you more seriously if you do have the title in front of your name. I found that when in my kind of interactions and with other colleagues who do not. But by all means, it's not easy, because if you don't teach in faculty in your area and you come from a central unit, there's
a networking opportunity is less.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more like, you need to approach the academics in a certain way and try to build trust with them. And sometimes that doesn't come really easy because, every faculty has their own sort of way of doing things. And over the years, I've kind of realized that the central departments, the central units are not that, well, I wouldn't say liked, that's not the word, but probably they don't like central units to be going into faculties and sort of telling them what to do, which is not what we do. We don't tell them what to do. But we do offer things. So basically, we're trying to make their life easier and the students' life easier, of course, because that's what we're here for at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's hard to, I can resonate with it because I'm in between as well. It's hard to say that our end goal is for student better experience.
Exactly.
So that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes we are seen with a hidden agenda.
Yeah, I know. Yes, and that's why it's difficult sometimes. It can be really challenging to kind of break ground and get into a faculty or into a school in a faculty and try to persuade academics that what we're offering is worthwhile and it's something they should consider. But yeah, it takes time, obviously. But what I can say is, from my experience so far, there are a lot of academics who are really open to improving their students' learning, and they do really cherish what we do, and they like the support that we offer. And some of them think that, it would be even better if there were more support. Absolutely. Yeah. But it is, as I've mentioned, it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. And it comes with workload as their main issue as well. So it's like a effect of everything.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Yes. It always comes back to that.
Yes. So good. We touched on the most important challenges. We have already spoken in the few episodes as well. And listening from your perspective as a managerial position, it's good to know it's it's mixed emotion, but it's good to know it's the same. So moving on, can you tell what would you like to say to people who want to explore their role in the third space, or do you have any advice for them?
Right. So, well, first they need to familiarize themselves with the meaning of the word third space, I suppose. Many people are already maybe working in the third space not knowing that that's what it is, which is okay. But yes, that would be the first step, I suppose. And I believe that, look, if people it's kind of space where you really, and I'm not saying that other professions are not, but it is interesting because it's at the intersection of academic work, pure academic work, and more sort of organizational and managerial work and sort of support work, support for learning and for teaching and for research probably. So it has it's kind of, it has a variety in it, which is, I mean, for people who like variety, it's good. And it has its challenges, obviously, but they really need to, if they want to be in the third space, they really need to want to be there. Let's just say it that way, because it's not easy. There are good days, there are bad days. There is a lot of work. And you do come across different people on daily basis. You meet people, you interact with people, you collaborate with people. Some are more open to that kind of work, others are not so much. But, you know, you get to sort of see all the facets of higher education work in these roles, I suppose. So, and you do get to contribute to learning and teaching and research. So I think it's rewarding in terms of the type of work it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I wouldn't go with giving people advice. Usually, you know, like I don't like giving unsolicited advice to anyone. But yeah, those are the things that sort of look out for if somebody is embarking on that kind of role.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, they'll need to balance a lot, definitely. And they'll also need to be prepared to certain kind of rejections,
Mm-hmm.
right? But probably, you know, that might be part of any other job. It's not just something that's endemic to the third space professionals.
Yes, that's true. So the desire to be in a third space role and breaking and having patience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Patience. Absolutely. Yeah. Patience is very important.
That was great. It was great to have you here, Neda. Thank you for joining us, for
Thank you.
sharing your insights. It was absolutely good to hear from, because we have had education developers, designers, and now to have someone from, and we have had like project leaders and who has done managerial roles. So it was good to hear from you as well. To the listeners, thank you for tuning in to The Third Space. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring the third space. This episode of Inside the Third Space was presented by me, Agnita Amarnath. Our editor is An Nguyen, and we are joining today by our guest, Neda.
Thank you so much.